Muskego Norway School Board meeting, January 15th. Verification of meeting posted. This meeting was posted in accordance with all open meeting laws of Wisconsin. Attendance roll call. Here. We do have a quorum, so we can make motions. If everybody would stand and join Brett in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, approval of the agenda. Motion to approve agenda is presented. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve the consent agenda. Any item that we would like to remove for individual consideration? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. And we are on to 3A, student report.
Hello, everyone. We'll start off at the high school. On December 12th, MHS held its career fair for its students in grades 9 through 11. There were about 100 different professionals informing about their careers. Seniors during this day were participating in the reality check, where they learned about connections, money management, and having financial stability. The School Resource Officer Unit received a new member this year. The team welcomes K9 Tito to their team. Donated to the Muskego Police Department by Partners with Paws, K9 Tito will provide therapy task services, drug detection, and firearm detection. On December 16th, MHS Student Council held their community snowtacular event. This was open to any family in the community, and children were invited to play holiday-themed games, win sweet treats, make cookies, do holiday-themed arts and crafts, and even take a picture with Santa. Pictures of the event are featured on the MHS Student Council Instagram page. On the 20th, MHS Choir held their Memories of Home concert. They sang songs like It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, Ave Maria, and O Come All Ye Faithful. Students across all schools were on break from the 22nd to the 2nd of January. Coming back from break, students had exams on the 10th, 11th, and finishing up today, as Tuesday's 7th hour exam got postponed due to the snow day. With winter sports, Carter Jewell set a new record for the boys swim in the 500 freestyle, the new record now being 4 minutes and 40.9 seconds. JT Brandstetter is also leading the way in boys wrestling, accumulating 100 varsity wins during a duel with McGuanago. Girls wrestling went to Madison for the Badger State Invitational, and they placed 9th. MHS is hosting 2 free full-length practice tests on January 20th and February 17th. Scores for these exams will be released and looked over right after the test is taken. The MHS Warrior Bots were able to 3D print 1,324 toys for the Toys for Tots donations. And upcoming events at the high school include freshman orientation on the 24th, the Warrior Winterizer on the 26th, and course information night on the 31st. Moving on to Lake Danoon. Lake Danoon welcomes their new school resource officer, Alyssa Kreger, this year. She's been with the Muskego Police Department since October of 2020. Lake Danoon is looking for volunteers to help with 8th grade celebration committee. Individuals can contact Principal Krupar if interested. Registering for next year's classes moved digital, and students registered for their future classes last week. Students registered for their Community Day activity, which will take place on the 26th. This was an opportunity to build school community through fun activities such as tutu making, open gym, Taylor Swift listening and bracelet making, video game room, and more. Open gyms are continuing every Saturday morning through the month of January. The 8th grade mass manufacturing students created over 90 of their mass-produced leash lodges that were sold to friends and families. With the proceeds they made, they were able to donate $500 to Hoover's Hawes All Dog Rescue. At Muskego Lakes, before break, students had their holiday spirit week leading up to break. They had creative dress-up days such as Lumberjack Day, where they wore flannels, and Ugly Sweater Day. Tryout date for students wanting to play volleyball in 7th or 8th grade is set for January 22nd after school until 4:30. Muskego Lakes is looking for career speakers for their career and community fair for their 8th graders. They are looking for speakers within any of the 16 career clusters, and if interested, there is a QR code that can be found on the Muskego Lakes weekly newsletter. Muskego Lakes extracurriculars have been busy following break with events like the Boys Wrestling Conference Tournament at Whitnall High School, boys basketball games, musical rehearsal, and ski and snowboard club. Students were also registering for their next year's classes, and their registration closes on Wednesday. Muskego Lakes Student Council is running a hygiene drive to give back to the Muskego Food Pantry. This is running till the 24th, and they're looking for most hygiene products like toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, etc. At Mill Valley, today students wore hats to celebrate National Hat Day. And before break, students had their all-school sing-along. Students and staff sang winter songs to end the day and welcome their winter break. Students interested in baseball should look into participating in the Future Warriors clinics, where they'll learn the fundamentals of baseball. And these clinics are run from January to March, and they are $20 a session and include a t-shirt. On January 30th, Mill Valley is celebrating the 100th day of school. To celebrate, they're asking their students to dress up like 100-year-olds, which may include gray wigs, suspenders, canes, and glasses. Students are participating in the Kids Heart Challenge, where students fundraise for other kids who are born with heart defects. Students can accumulate prizes based on the amount of money they raise for the cause. Last week, students attended a behavior refresher presentation where they went over the behaviors they should utilize to remain respectful and responsible. They were introduced to concepts like integrity and learned the differences between arguments, rude or mean actions, and bullying. And Mill Valley is going to be hosting an after-school theater class. This 7-week after-school class will run from the end of January through March and will introduce students to stage skills, theater games, and showcase material. Moving on to Bay Lane. Following Bay Lane's winter concert on December 15th, videos of each respective grade level were uploaded to the weekly newsletter if one missed or wanted to rewatch any of the songs. Bay Lane students are also participating in the Kids Heart Challenge, as mentioned before. Also uploaded to the weekly newsletter for Bay Lane were pictures of the students' fun dress-up days before break. Following break, students celebrated World Braille Day, where they had an interactive bulletin board and they got to feel Braille music lyrics. Students interested in the game of Dungeons & Dragons should consider signing up for the Dungeons & Dragons Club. They'll meet after school on Mondays throughout February, and it's limited to the first 15 students who sign up. Bay Lane is holding a virtual author visit on the 23rd. This is open to the public, and the authors in attendance are Catherine Applegate, who wrote the one and only Ivan, and Jennifer Choldenko, who wrote the Al Capone Does My Shirt series. Together, they're presenting and conversing about their new novel, Dogtown, which is about a shelter that houses stray and robot dogs. And finally, Bay Lane is holding a pool party at Muskego High School on February 8th. Students get to enjoy a night of swimming, food, and games. RSVP is required and limited to the first 125 students. And finally, moving on to Lakeview, before break, students had their fireside feast. Pictures from the festivities are posted to Lakeview's Facebook page. In Phi Ed, all grades last week participated in a game called Box Ball. Students were encouraged to work on overhand throwing, catching, and teamwork to throw dodgeballs into the other team's bins. In art class, the upper grade levels were working on some self-portraits and one-point perspective pieces. The younger grades are working on exploring landscapes with colors, lines, and patterns. Lakeview is also looking for volunteers to help change out the art pieces in the display cases and other small art-related tasks. It's low commitment, meeting on the last Friday of each month at 4 p.m. If interested, you can find a contact information on the art update section of the Lakeview newsletter. And finally, all students have been having fun in the snow at recess. Pictures of their activities can also be found on the Lakeview Facebook page. And that's all from me today.
That was a long report. Lots going on. All right. There we go. Okay, moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. Before we get started with the Mill Valley report to the board, just wanted to give a shout out to our custodians and grounds crew for the unbelievably awesome job they did in clearing our sidewalks and parking lots. They spent hours and hours here on Friday while it was snowing really heavily. And then they were here on Saturday as well, throughout much of the day, and they did a stellar job. So Jeremiah, thank you to you and to the crew for doing an unbelievable job in having our schools ready for operation today. And then if things weren't challenging enough with the snow, I know that the custodians were monitoring buildings throughout the entire weekend with the cold temperatures and just seeing if things were going to freeze up. So I think the forethought of keeping the heat on in the buildings, even though that we knew that would come at a cost, it helped us to be able to have our buildings ready and operational for today. So thank you very much. Outstanding job. And now our Mill Valley report to the board. So we have Principal Elise Harris, Associate Principal Julie Hetzel, and is Kimberly going to be speaking as well? She's part of the fan club. All right, so Elise and Julie, we look forward to, as we do every year, to hearing your report to the board. Thank you.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mill Valley. As Jeff said, my name is Elise Harris. I'm the building principal, and next to me is Julie Hetzel, our associate principal. Before we get too far, I do want to say a big shout out to Andy, Chris, and Tracy, our custodial team, for putting together the events of today. And then all of the beautiful artwork on display was organized by Charlene Owens, our art teacher. So our theme for tonight is golden. We're excited to share a short presentation with you to show why Mill Valley is golden in academics, in our satisfaction of our stakeholders, as well as to share some of our growth opportunities and next steps. As a staff, we always anchor back to our vision statement and our value and commitment to being a caring community that ensures high levels of growth for everyone, every day. Through our presentation, you will get to see the results of our dedicated staff. The things you will hear about tonight are only possible because of those tremendously passionate and talented teachers and staff we have here at the building. First, we'd like to share with you some of our academic performance results. The graph in the upper left corner shows the percentage of students at Mill Valley that are meeting proficiency or above over the last 3 years on the Wisconsin Forward Exam for mathematics. With these forward exam results, we are proud to be number 2 in Waukesha County for overall percentile of proficient or advanced students. The graph in the upper right shows the percent of students at Mill Valley meeting proficiency on our STAR assessment, which is our universal screener. Historically, STAR has been a very good predictor of students' proficiency level on the forward exam. And actually, historically, we tend to perform even higher on the forward exam than predicted. The recent STAR results from the winter are shown, and it shows that we are on track to replicate the Wisconsin Forward results again this year. Some of the measures we put in place to increase that number, or at least maintain, is our high leverage lessons provided by our teachers. We have very targeted small group instruction for all students based on each one's area of need. We have professional learning communities that meet weekly to allow opportunities to discuss instructional practices that are effective for students. And we're partnering with our math coach in the area of mathematics to utilize other high impact strategies like AVMR.
So now we'll talk about the academic performance in ELA. The graph in the upper left-hand corner tells the percentage of students at Mill Valley that are meeting proficiency or above over the last 3 years on the ELA section of the forward. The graph in the upper right corner shows the percent of students at MV that are meeting proficiency or above over the last 4 years on the section of the winter ELA STAR exam. The STAR assessment has been a good predictor of the number of students that will be proficient on the forward exam from year to year. And typically, the percent of proficient students tends to be higher on our forward exam. With these forward exam results, it places us at number 1 in Waukesha County for overall percent of students in 3rd and 4th grade who are proficient or advanced in ELA. The STAR results from winter are showing that we are on track again to repeat the same results as last year. Some action steps that we have put in place to either increase or maintain our percentage of students proficient are working with our coaches to understand the new 2020 ELA standards with the emphasis on the foundational standards that address learning how to read words. Added phonics materials that are utilized consistently in every kindergarten through 2nd grade classroom. Also, consistently implementing word study in 3rd and 4th grade. And then also schedules to make sure that we have the time to teach phonics and word study each week.
As you can see from the snapshots of our previous 3 state report cards, we continue to significantly exceed expectations on our state report card. The state report card information places us number 1 in Waukesha County as in overall school achievement data. In addition to Waukesha County, within the entire state of Wisconsin, we are ranked number 25 out of the 970 other elementary schools. We are also ranked as the top elementary school in Wisconsin, according to U.S. News. Based on our student achievement data, there is so much to be proud of here at Mill Valley. But while we celebrate our successes, we also strive for continuous improvement. One thing we'll be focusing on is improving growth, as evidenced on our state report card for all students, as well as our target group of students. As you have seen in the data, we have a large population of students who are already proficient, and it's our duty to continue pushing their learning to the next level also. This work will be accomplished through going forward with our PLC teams, sharing those successful strategies with each other, and the use of our amazing coaches. For example, in the area of math, our math coach's name is Abby Drobot, and she has started recess roundups with 3rd graders and 2nd grade huddle and huts to extend the learning of students who are already proficient in the area of mathematics. We are committed to all learners growing for each individual student. Another growth opportunity we continue to investigate and make actions to close the achievement gap for our students with IEPs. In order to close this gap, we've implemented MLSS meetings with coaches and learning strategists to work together to grow students who have an IEP. Additionally, they're working as a team to interpret data so that they can target their specific area of need and write those IEP goals or intervention goals with all the invested adults sitting around working together for that student. This team of people working together includes our classroom teachers, our coaches, interventionists, learning strategists, administration, and our school psychologist.
Not only do we monitor our academic growth, but also the perceptions of our families and students about our service. We do this through the Studer survey, where parents and caregivers take the same survey once a year. The wording of each of the questions on that survey changed about 2 years ago, but still try to measure the same idea of that question. The rating scale is out of 5, which is the top score. The results of our overall survey have consistently been near the top score of 5 over the last 6 years, as you can see in this chart. Parents also have the opportunity to write and share comments on the survey. We've highlighted a couple of the comments here from that survey on this slide. As you can see, parents believe our staff is top-notch, our children have fun experiences, our children are engaged and excited about learning, their children love coming to school. Parents also have positive interactions, and they believe that teachers communicate a lot and are passionate. One of the questions from the parent survey that we have continued to focus on for improvement is about families receiving feedback about their child's learning. Through actions as a school that we have taken, the score of this question has slightly increased or maintained a high level of satisfaction. The focus of our improvements will continue to be on this question for this upcoming year and trying to find new ways of providing feedback to parents about their child's learning. Another way we monitor our service is by surveying our second through fourth grade students. Our overall score on the student survey has also stayed consistent over the last 5 years. Students typically take this survey in March. As you can see, the student experience survey continues to yield positive results. One of the questions from that survey is focused to improve our servicing of students is by showing respect to each other. Over the last 5 years, the results have been slightly decreasing on the students' perception of showing respect to each other. We created another mini survey for students to provide us the honest feedback regarding their student experience on respect. From that mini survey, we were able to address specific behaviors and locations. The result of that mini survey in December was a 4.09, which shows that we are on track to meet or exceed our previous year's data. So in addition to that mini survey, we have also taken specific actions as creating and teaching common definitions for our 3 behavior expectations: respectful, responsible, and kind, which you can see on the screen. We've also had the whole school participate in one book, one school, with a book titled A Boy Called Back, which focuses on acceptance and friendship. We also put into place utilizing partnerships between an older classroom and a younger classroom called buddy classes, which participate in monthly activities focusing on respect, as well as continuing to highlight positive behaviors in our school through paw prints, golden awards, and honoring respectful royalty. We are committed to having a specific student experience for all students at Mill Valley.
All right, so in just a minute, we're going to share a quick video because we are so proud of all the things we have just shared with you, with the academics and the continuous improvement efforts that we have. But we also want to share other things that go into a day here at Mill Valley by sharing a video that gives you a sneak peek into the positive experiences our students and staff here have at Mill Valley each day. These are things that can't be shown on a graph or measured numerically. I want to give a special thank you to Beth Castro, who is one of our educational assistants who put together the actual video, and a special 4th grade student named Hannah, which happens to be the voice behind this video. So I hope you enjoy.
This is a WMVS special report for January 15th, 2024. Welcome to Mill Valley! Good evening. We are reporting live from Mrs. Harris's office at Mill Valley Elementary. Did you know U.S. Weekly recently rated Mill Valley as one of the best elementary schools in Wisconsin? Yes, it's true. Take a look at this graphic that shows all of our rankings at state and district level. But what you don't see in this fancy data is what really it takes to be at the top. As a 4th grader, I know why our school is one of the best. Although, I probably shouldn't give away all of our secrets. But I can show you in this video that there are some things that make us successful that simply could not be measured by numbers. Take a look. When you walk through the halls of our school, you'll definitely witness some interesting moments. Maybe even some that are a little silly or strange.
We're not preaching in circles. It's a new sanctuary.
But we're great at
doing? The garbage can. What does student council do? Oh, way to save the earth. Good job. You may continue. Yep, that's good. Voila.
Even though we think of ourselves as fabulous dancers, and we clearly know how to have fun around here, our ability to put in the effort to thrive academically is what we are most proud of. School can be difficult and challenging at times. We learn so much every day. However, our Mill Valley teachers and staff help us persevere and challenge us to do our best. Okay, it's time to share one of our biggest secrets to our success. Even though we have cool classrooms and spaces around the building with comfortable furniture, we do some of our best thinking in the hallways. Thanks, boys.
What are you doing in the hallway? Doing your work. You guys don't like desks? Okay, enjoy.
Oops. I suppose I gave away too many of our secrets. Maybe it's okay, because we'll keep discovering new ways to stay at the top. This concludes our WMBS special report. Thank you, and good night. I did it! I did it!
Great job.
So as you can see, Mill Valley is truly a golden place for so many reasons, and we thank you for visiting. And do you have any questions?
I read the superintendent's report was that we were kind of low on getting the students to feel that they're getting what they needed within our school district. So I was happy that you guys pointed that out, and I love that you had ideas coming forward as to how to improve it. And I mean, I'm hoping that we can get that number up to a better level. Yeah.
It was a great report. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elise and Julie. Much appreciated, and continue to do the amazing work. Our staff do such phenomenal work together, collaboratively, which leads to the amazing results we have. So thank you. The next agenda item on the superintendent report is tied to graduation and diplomas. Yes, I know it's January, but we are already talking about graduation. So on Sunday, June 2nd at 10:30 at Impro Stadium, Mr. Irvine promises that the weather is going to be warm and sunny this year. Hand out diplomas this year. We would greatly appreciate your support and help. And if you are interested, please let Lori Buxengard know of your interest. Okay. And that concludes your superintendent report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. On to other reports, President report. Thank you very much, Mill Valley, for hosting and putting together a great presentation, and all this artwork around is wonderful. I do not have anything else. So, clerk's report.
School boards, this information, 3 school board seats are on the ballot in the spring 2024 election. 3 candidates have declared their candidacy before the 5 p.m. deadline on January 2nd, 2024. Candidates in ballot order are Kevin Zimmerman, who is an incumbent, Tracy Blair, who is an incumbent, and Terry Boyer, who is an incumbent. A February primary election will not be necessary. That concludes the report.
Thank you, Tracy. And other board member reports. Jason?
Conference this week, and as a delegate for our district, will be there for the delegate meeting.
Thank you for doing that. I know it's a whole day away from work, so thank you very much. Appreciate it. Brett?
At the WSB Education Convention all week. So if anybody's down there, try and give me a call. Hopefully we can get connected and just spend a little time together.
Thank you very much. Tracy?
Yeah, so CISA 1's meeting would be the 16th, which would be tomorrow, but we've moved it to the following week because of the WASB meeting, and I'll be representing CISA 1 for their role at the committee meeting there on Wednesday also. Update at our next meeting with the update from the CISA meeting.
Kevin? Lori? No. All right, on to committee reports. Educational Services Committee report.
Briefly, and we had updates given by Courtney regarding our literacy and how we've narrowed to potential companies for our new programming, and then also we'll be bringing forward recommendations for math as per our discussion and the recommendations by our teaching staff. We also are in the process of reviewing 2 textbooks for AP Calc and Environmental Sciences, and we'll be meeting with the CPC as well as our committee to continue to review those books for approval as appropriate.
Policy Committee report. Bob is not here, but I did facilitate their meeting tonight. We just reviewed a resolution that would be potentially brought forward at the WASB Delegate Assembly this week, and also some recommendation. They recommend the moving forward with the financial literacy changes for the required financial literacy requirement, the new rule that went into place. So that was discussed at committee, pushed to the board for recommendation, and also to change the academic guidebook to reflect those changes. So they're working on getting that requirement into our high school. And policy committee members, if you have anything else you want to add, because I'm... Okay. All right. And then Business Services Committee, they have not met. Okay. I do want to go back to the policy committee report. We do have a lot of policies that we're going to be having in resolution, and I did get a card from you, Lawrence. And this may answer your question. So there's a tremendous amount of policies that are listed in this humongous list here that are rescinded. And what's happening here is the policies, we're working with Neola, who creates a lot of our policies. Instead of having the same policy in 4 different places, 3 different places to keep updating, we're combining them all into one. So what we've done is taken those, created a new policy, and rescinded the old ones. So that's why there's so many rescinded. There's others that have replaced that. We've kept it in one place so it's easier to find them, keep them updated. So if that helps answer, but I'll still give you an option to speak when we get to that. Okay, so that is all for reports, and on to resolution action items. Hang on one sec. Okay. I had a question on something, and
okay, sorry.
I had to get an answer for something, but, okay, go ahead.
Okay, budget calendar. Motion to approve the 2024-2025 budget calendar as presented. All right, I'm going Brett and Kevin on that, just so you know.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Okay. Opposed? Okay. So the next resolution action item, policy committee recommended policy revisions. Lawrence Hateman had put a card in. He had wanted to speak on that, so I'm going to let him come up before we have to bring it to the floor. Hang on one sec. Bring it to the floor? Okay. So do the motion first. This was weird for me. It's the first time I've had people speak, so I'm working through this.
Okay, motion to approve the policies as presented.
All right. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, hi, I'm Lawrence. I'm a Muskego High School graduate. So hello. I did like figure out before the meeting started, Terry, that like the reason for all the rescinded policies was because that language was being condensed into one place, and I think that makes sense. I think that, I guess, what I would still like to express is that that explanation of that policy was just didn't happen to be super clear on the board docs, and I think that the links that are kind of being posted on there are still like really inaccessible for people who just can't make it to every single board meeting or policy meeting. And I would just also like to express my opinion that for future policy changes that are made with the same kind of reasoning of condensing language, what's been shown in some other situations in many other boards is that what seems like redundancy in school board policies is actually very important and powerful in protecting the rights of a lot of people associated with the school board and employed by the district. And that's been like extremely powerful for teachers and students to have redundancy, what seems just like useless redundancy in those school board policies, instead of having just a unified one protection that can kind of limit language in a lot of cases. So I would just hope that you consider that in future when you are talking about those policy changes. I understand that these policy changes, like what I'm doing right now, is a public comment and not exactly part of a public discussion. And after any other public comments on this issue are done, you're all gonna vote on it, or maybe you'll vote on it next month, and I understand that. And I guess I would just also want to express my desire for discussion to be given more, discussion on policies especially, to be given more than 5-minute meetings that are held at a time before a lot of people who might be concerned and interested in speaking have even gotten out of work and maybe gotten home. So I would just hope that you consider that in future when you're making policy changes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lawrence. Okay, open, and does anyone have any discussion on the board regarding the policies? Okay, all in favor? Say aye. Opposed? Okay. Go ahead.
Motion to approve the following open enrollment seats for 2024-2025 school year as presented.
Okay. Rachel, did you want to come up? Come on up. Just state your name and address. I'm sorry. I got it up here, but.
Rachel Meyer, W145 South 6975 Brentwood Drive, Muskego. I am speaking about the open enrollment for special education, leaving it at 0. I am in support of keeping it at 0. What I'm concerned about was the data that was included with the report about our staffing in speech, which it's recommended to be 1 to 20 ratio. And in the data, it says we have currently 1 to 35, which is almost double the amount of the recommended staffing. And for OT, recommended is 1 to 20, and we have 1 to 31, which is about 1.5 times the recommended amount plus the OTs travel between school buildings, which would also be taking some of their time. There was no data about social workers. I know that we do have a social worker retiring. What is the plan for staffing? Social workers work with all students, not just special education students. So as we're considering open enrollment seats, I know that with that is also would be something that would be, a social worker would be looked at for all students.
Same questions about speech on those numbers. So if you just want to kind of go over that, that would be great.
We find the ranges, the range that is happening for not only speech, but for OT, for PT, for case manager, special education teachers at elementary, middle, and high school. And we make sure that our caseload that we have currently is falling within that range that we are seeing in Waukesha County.
Is there a point that we would look at adding staff or?
Yeah, so the other piece to remember is that when we talk about students we're serving, there can be a wide range of needs that someone is fulfilling, right? So like the number of minutes, for example. And so number with speech, for example, would be higher than that of like a special education teacher because of the type of service that they are delivering. And so again, we look at really the individual, the students, to identify when it is that we need and our capacity to fulfill those minutes and those services outlined in the IEP. So there's not a hard number that we use, but again, what we do check is that range within Waukesha County to ensure that we are, our caseloads are comparable to that of our area.
How many speech therapists do we have?
We would have, let me pull that number just to give you.
Do you know what our number was last year by chance?
Pardon?
Do you know what our number was last year? Or like what our history is? Is that about what we
Yeah,
typically
it's still comparable to last year too.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Okay.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes.
High School Academic Grade Book or Guidebook as presented.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Action to approve with thanks the following donations as presented. Do you want me to read?
Yeah.
Okay. Muskego High School Robotics, $10,000 from Material Control Solutions LLC, $6,000 from Regal Rexnor, $5,000 from Impro. Muskego High School Outdoor Club, $500 from the Wisconsin Interscholastic Fishing Association.
Any discussion? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Right. Okay, moving on to discussion items, 2024-25 budget. Standing item, anything? No? Okay. And the facility use policy.
So with the opening of the Lakeview Gymnasium and the indoor practice facility, we were going to need to add those to our facility use policy for rentable spaces. With that, over the past couple of years, we've seen a large uptick in utility costs and commodities and all the things it takes to run our buildings. So we went through a study of Waukesha County school districts and those that participated. We took in all the data and really found that we were at the lowest end of anybody charging to rent facilities. So we went through our facility use really rental section, which is attached to the item here, and highlighted anything in green that we were just going to keep the same, and then changed a lot of the other areas by $5 to $10 an hour. There are two larger changes, that being baseball and softball. We really wanted to align our policy to what the city is charging for Park Arthur, so we're not in competition with them. We don't want people leaving the city to come, hoard our field or vice versa. So that we aligned with their policy. And then the pool, we aligned with Greenfield. So SWAT is our main pool user, and they use Greenfield as much as they use Muskego. So we made our fees the same as Greenfield's, or we're proposing that we do. Outside of that, softball as well. So our new softball stadium will have a 400 seating capacity. It'll be a very nice stadium, so making that similar to baseball, the varsity baseball field. I think that kind of covers all of the charges. We definitely wanted to talk it over in case anybody had any strong feelings about any of it, but we have been priming Park and Rec and our clubs that this would be coming. 2 years ago, I let everybody know that our utilities are really taking a hit as of late. So we are not really making a ton of money off of facility use. When you think of the 40,000 hours of facility use that we have, we generate about $120,000 annually. A lot of our clubs will make large donations, recently to the Lake Danoon floor, and that'll offset some of the rental costs for the coming couple of years. So we have a lot of agreements like that in place. But yeah, open to questions or thoughts.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my only question was regarding the pool. Because I've been in the Greenfield pool, and it's more like zero entry, and it's a lot bigger facility than what we offer with the indoor. So does that jump from 50 to 100 seem extreme? Like, should we be somewhere in the middle? Because we don't really offer what Greenfield offers.
Yeah, I've actually never seen their pool.
Oh, yeah, they have like a 0-degree entry into the pool for like little kids and.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, so I was just curious if that's probably why it's a little bit more.
Because the
It's
kids
like when you
compete
walk
on
in-
it.
When you walk in from the inside thing, it's the first thing that you hit, and then the lanes are over here.
I could take a look at that and see,
Okay.
in comparison how I know they have an 8-lane pool. They may have some other features that we don't have. I know Waukesha South is like the big one
Yeah.
for the area.
Huge.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah,
Do you know what Waukesha charges?
I don't. We don't.
With others?
Yeah, I just question like the comparability of it, but.
Well, I think to Lori's point, most of it's for competition use, not for just.
Birthday party use and stuff?
That is separate. So we have a weekend open swim and pool parties, which is totally different than what this is. This is practices and general rentals for competitions or all of the stuff that they do.
Yeah. Okay, and so is this going to come back then to us? Okay.
Yeah.
Next month or?
Next month or the month after. We may take some time as we're wrapping up our facilities just to make sure we covered everything. But if anybody has thoughts offline, feel free to shoot them my way and we'll take a look.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question if we're ready. So you've got listed groups 1, 2, and 3. What's the definition of those?
Good question. Group 1 is really anything school related, so schools shouldn't be charged anything to use the facilities. Group 2 is anybody that has 75% residency participation. Really, that's all of our park and recs, the boys and girls youth basketball, MAA, Storm, typically SWAT. Most clubs and park and rec would be group 2. Group 3 would be for profit, like somebody that has a private organization that they're profiting from, and or outside of Muskego renters. So we have a lot of people that can't find space in their own school district, so we will charge them as a group 3 to come use our facilities.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Okay, information follow-up, 8. There you will find financials, personnel informational memo, and any other communication, miscellaneous business, which is, there's nothing there. And that brings us to 9, motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned.